Right, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatikuita zvekare pano paTerare 263 pano vandokuzivisa manews updates ezvinhu zviri kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Kana uchiri munyowani pathis YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe watena on that notification bell. Muri yeZimbabwe first update yandakabatrai update iyo yevideo rava Patrick Chinamasa vaitaura mashoko avanga vachitaura maererano nezvemutongerwo enyika muno munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Saka zvandichaita ndichakusiya muchiona video. Wapedza kuona video chozvo unofika comment section. Usaskip this video nekuti ndine last update. That is the first update.
Under section 95 subsection 2b of the Constitution, it sets out the duration of the president's term of office to 5 years. And it further says that the 5 years must be coterminous with the life of parliament. So that is the first point, that the duration of the president's term of office is 5 years. Then also section 91 subsection 2 sets out the term limit provision. It sets out the term limit provision, and basically it limits the president's term of office to 2 terms. And it goes further to define what a term is, what the duration of a term is, which is 3 years or more. So anything that is less than 3 years is not a term. I think that is the fundamental difference. Where I came from in 2024, when I spoke at the SANPF Parliamentary Annual People's Conference, I said, and I envisaged that we were going to extend the president's term to a 3rd term, on the understanding that come 2030, His Excellency will give way to one of his vice presidents. That was the premise upon which I made that statement. Now, fast forward, I'm happy that Honorable Ziyambi Ziyambi, the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, and the Attorney General's Office have been more innovative. They realize that 2 years is under 3 years or more, and it does not constitute a term. So it was very clear to them, and I agree with them entirely, that we did not need to go through a referendum.
Last update audio iri kutendera mascreens esocial media. Handisi kukwanisa kuzozvitapudza kana kuzviwedzeredza. Ndichangokusiyai muchinzwa audio. Wapedza kunzwa audio tozvofika comment section. Inza hatirariri tipa kuzivisai manews updates ezvinhu zviri kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe nguva nenguva. Saka make sure to subscribe watena on that notification bell. Uyezve walike this video wazorishare kune hama neshamwari. Tosangana zvekare manje munguva inotevera. Much love.
Right, muri yeZimbabwe toda kuti munzwe kwazvava zvakatanga vana comrade Geza vachitaura zvavaitaura vachita senge vari kuadhiresa chiwenga, zvikatevera vana comrade Knox ndobva vaita kero ndokusimudza tochi ndokumhanya nechinhu ndokuramba vachitaura zvavari kutaura, like their mouthpiece yechiwenga faction, and also like the telling chiwenga something. Vakabudikira vana retired general Marshal Henry Muchena vakanokusubmita document vachiramba bill number 3, vakataura zvavakataura in that document, vachirepeata the speeches that Chiwenga always talks about corruption, achishora. Chiwenga ndobva abudikira musi uno uyu achilaita mwenje weindependence achitaura iye kuti akagwisa Smith nenyaya yake yekuti vaiva nemafrandias avo vaibvumirwa chete kuvhotera maleaders avo, kuvhotera mapresident avo. Haana kuzokombea exactly the same thing zviri kuitika right now. The same thing is being created by Mnangagwa under the parliamentary system yekuti members of parliament chete ndo vanogona kuvhotera president wavo. Right, muri yeZimbabwe takakuudzai a couple of days ago kuti Valerius Vanda wataura zvakati meeting, tikakuudzai kuti General Matatu vataura zvakati meeting. Right now takuda kuchikuudzai the most explosive news yet when it comes to the dynamics politics in Zimbabwe. So there is a document that have been submitted to the vice president's office secretly zvichireva kuti zvaitwa zvisiri in the public eye. But of course, my insiders who care, who are patriotic, who love their country, Zimbabwe, have made sure that this information yasvika kwamuri muri Zimbabwe. This is harmless information, but very interesting information. Information inotaridza developments in the political arena muZimbabwe kuti zvasvika papi. So this letter, this document, it was actually signed by a couple of my retired generals, nema generals aripo, kuti vaconfirm kuti yes, we are behind this. So if you are looking at the politics in Zimbabwe right now, you can see chinhu chakutora shape, chinhu chakumeka sense, chakuonekwa kuti oh, zviri kufamba so. So Chiwenga is a leader of ideology right now. He doesn't have to be, out there talking, saying stuff and whatever. There's an ideology that a lot of my comrades hold within them. Naturally, they have it. If kanavasat papinda a direct cash bohomwe wins $100,000 icho mahomwe dzako isla, almost all the soldiers, almost all the comrades, nema retired generals, nema generals, have that same belief. They know exactly why they went to war. One vote, one man. Land for all, equal opportunities to go to school, equal opportunities to get jobs, equal opportunities to, state resources, my minerals, my mines, etc., etc., etc. Right, so the document submit of Chiwenga is said to say why imimi makanyarara comrade, why musiri kuita mamoves comrades, why muri kutinzwa tichikusapota tichimira nemi, but you are not openly standing with us comrade. Zvinova zviri kunzi again in that document, the document acknowledges the silence of Chiwenga over the CAB 3, the Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. He is one of a few in government in Zimbabwe asati amboita stand out there in support of CAB 3. So the document actually acknowledges that. And also the document goes on to acknowledge the speech that comrade Chiwenga made, which was to every Zimbabwean who has got ears, who knows politics or anything. They know that was a strong defiance from the Chiwenga camp. But tichiri papa regatimbo tarisa from another angle. Right. So the other angle ndeyekuti zviri kutaurwa izvo, in fact kuna retired lieutenant general Winston Sigauke Mapuranga vakabudikira vachitaura ivo nyaya yekuti CAB 3 by itself, Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 by itself, is a direct insult to one man only, who is retired General Constantino Chiwenga. Because he is the direct man who is well known to Mnangagwa and his faction, kuti, according to the agreements that have been made, he is supposed to take over in 2028. Zvinova zvinodzosa kustatement rinogara richitaurwa naChris Mnangagwa, which I would like to say, it's not a wrong statement. It's a good statement. It's a real statement. It's just that people like Mnangagwa, it's like also they themselves had the goals, the dreams of becoming the next president, or maybe even promised by Mnangagwa, as Comrade Geza was saying. But they can see that Mnangagwa might have been joking. He's far away from that. But they have said one thing, statement that kune vamwe vedu mukati meZANU-PF vanofunga kuti ivo ikodzero dzavo vakatozvagwa vakanzi vanofanira kuita mapresident. Apa anenge achireva Chiwenga, because Chiwenga kupinda kwakaita Mnangagwa muna 2017 zviri kunzi vanga vabvumirana kuti Chiwenga is going to take over muna 2028. Right, muri Zimbabwe. So nyaya yakamira ipapapa, vana Chris Mnangagwa vachitaura zvavari kutaura, chidzoka kunoku kunyaya yekuti document riri kuti chii about Chiwenga richiacknowledge the speech that he made, yatakuudzai achitaura nyaya yekuti uyu Smith waiva nemafrandi handiti. So the document is acknowledging that, and also the document is encouraging Chiwenga to bring this so important topic, this important issue, to like public hearings inside the ZANU-PF. And it is like the man, if he stands out right now and speak and say, you know what, let's really revisit this whole thing about, Bill number 3, quick extend the president term to 2030. Let's revisit it, talk about it as ZANU-PF, or re-vote about it as ZANU-PF. He can be heard because he is a high-ranking ZANU-PF official. And so these comrades are saying that to him and saying that he also must even file a court case. No Ramba Amendment Bill number 3 to go through the parliament, but rather for it to go through the referendum, rather than keeping quiet. He is a general after all. So, Murezi Babu, toda kumbonzwa kwamuri mimi. Do you agree ne-document riri kunzi rasubmitwa ku-the office of the vice president riri kuti vice president deva more vocal? He should bring this whole debate to public hearings. If he suggests things publicly, Chiwenga, rather than keeping quiet, but actually talk about it, or even be the first one to say, but in Njanga I mean ZANU-PF, but I also don't agree with Amendment Bill number 3. Isn't it his constitutional right? Isn't he allowed to say that publicly? Does the Constitution allow him or not? What do you think, Mrezi Babu? If the Constitution allows him, so what's stopping him? Why would he be in the shadows with it? Is it that ZANU-PF's constitution by itself, I think